Imagine living without anything or anyone being able to throw you off balance, without angry outbursts, without suppressed rage, without allowing others to have the power to ruin your day with a simple word or action. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? But it's not. What I'm going to share with you today will completely change the way you see life. It's not magic, it's not empty positivity, it's practical philosophy. It's the same knowledge that great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus used to face adversity without losing their calm. Think about the last time you got angry. Maybe someone disrespected you, betrayed your trust, or simply traffic made you lose your patience. What if I told you that all that anger was a choice? Yes, a choice. And if you do what I'm going to teach you today, you'll never react that way again. But there's a key, a fundamental principle that changes everything. And in this video, I'm going to reveal it to you. But before we begin, I want you to take action immediately and write in the comment box, I will never, ever get angry about anything or with anyone. This simple act is the first step towards a true transformation, and it's the moment you decide to commit to yourself. Without further ado, let's begin. Mastering your emotions. 10 Stoic strategies. Strategy 1. Accept the flow of life. Life is a constant current, with ups and downs, moments of calm and storm. The Stoics teach us that fighting against the inevitable only creates suffering. Why? Because when you resist what already is, you face a battle lost in advance. Instead, accepting the flow of life is embracing reality as it is, not as you wish it were. This doesn't mean resigning yourself or being passive, but understanding that, although you cannot control external events, you always have power over your attitude and your actions. When you adopt this mindset, you stop carrying the weight of unnecessary frustrations. Imagine facing an unexpected problem. You can get stuck in why me? Or focus on what can I do now? This acceptance gives you clarity to make wiser decisions and frees you from emotional torment. Furthermore, accepting the flow of life also means recognizing that everything is transient. Neither joy nor sadness lasts forever. This understanding allows you to enjoy good times without clinging to them and face bad times with the certainty that they too will pass. In essence, flowing with life is finding peace in constant change, knowing that you can always choose how to navigate your path. Strategy 2. Stop judging others. Judging others is like carrying a backpack full of stones that don't belong to you. The Stoics teach us that judgments towards others are often a reflection of our own insecurities or unmet expectations. Every time you criticize or label someone, you deviate from what truly matters, your own personal improvement. Imagine someone acts in a way you don't understand or that bothers you. Before passing judgment, ask yourself, do I really know their full story? Do I know what battle they are fighting internally? Probably not. Adopting this perspective allows you to respond with empathy instead of criticism. Stopping judgment doesn't mean ignoring inappropriate behaviors, but understanding that what others do or say has more to do with them than with you. This change of focus not only alleviates your emotions, but also improves your relationships. Furthermore, when you stop judging others, you also free yourself from the fear of being judged. By letting go of that burden, you find an inner peace that doesn't depend on external approval. Instead of wasting energy on criticizing, use that time to reflect on how you can grow and evolve. Remember, everyone is imperfect and constantly learning. When you choose understanding over judgment, you give yourself the opportunity to build a kinder world and, at the same time, free yourself from unnecessary emotional burdens. In this act, you find serenity and clarity to focus on what truly matters. Before continuing, I would appreciate it if you would please like and share this video so that it can reach many more people. And if you don't want to miss any of my future videos, subscribe and turn on notifications. Strategy 3. Control your mind. Your mind is your greatest ally or your worst enemy, depending on how you use it. The Stoics knew that everything starts in thoughts. What you think determines how you feel and, ultimately, how you act. If you don't take control of your mind, it will fill with distractions, worries, and negative thoughts that will dominate you. Controlling your mind doesn't mean suppressing thoughts, but learning to direct them. A key technique is to practice conscious observation. When a negative thought arises, don't feed it or identify with it. Instead, observe it as a spectator and let it dissolve. Meditation is a powerful tool for this purpose. Dedicate a few minutes a day to concentrating on your breath or a positive mantra. This simple exercise strengthens your ability to remain calm in challenging situations. Furthermore, training your mind to focus on what truly matters helps you avoid distractions and be more productive. Another Stoic key is to question your thoughts. Not everything that passes through your mind is true. If you find yourself thinking the worst or worrying about things beyond your control, ask yourself, is this thought helping me or harming me? Most of the time, you'll discover that you can replace it with something more useful and positive. When you manage to control your mind, you become the master of your emotions and reactions. No matter what happens around you, you will always have the ability to remain serene and focused. Remember, mastering your mind is the first step to mastering your life. Strategy 4. Accept the imperfection of the world. The world is not perfect, and pretending it is will only bring you frustration. The Stoics remind us that errors, failures, and challenges are an inherent part of human nature and life itself. When you stop fighting against this reality, you discover an inexhaustible source of calm and understanding. Imagine someone makes a mistake that affects you. Your first reaction might be to get angry or feel disappointed. But what if you choose to see that error as an opportunity to practice patience and empathy? This perspective not only reduces your discomfort, but also strengthens your relationships. Accepting imperfection also means letting go of the need to control everything. No one has the power to prevent every problem or guarantee that things will always turn out as you expect. Instead of spending energy trying to change the unchangeable, focus on what you can control: your attitude and your actions. This acceptance is not synonymous with conformity. You can work to improve the world and yourself, but without expecting everything to be flawless. The key is to learn to find peace amidst imperfection, both in others and in yourself. By adopting this mindset, you free yourself from constant frustration and the weight of unrealistic expectations. Instead, you can enjoy the present moment and face challenges with serenity and wisdom. Strategy 5. Take responsibility for your feelings. Your emotions are not caused by others or by external circumstances. They are the direct result of how you interpret and react to what happens. This Stoic principle is transformative because it gives you back control over your emotional life. Instead of blaming others or events, it invites you to look inward and take responsibility for how you feel. Imagine someone makes a hurtful comment to you. You have two options: allow those words to affect you and react with anger or sadness, or decide that their opinion does not define your worth or control your inner peace. The key is to remember that no one can make you feel something without your consent. Taking responsibility for your feelings also means stopping the search for external validation. Many times our negative emotions arise because we expect others to act in a certain way or meet our expectations. When you understand that these expectations are yours and not an obligation of others, you free yourself from unnecessary disappointments. This doesn't mean repressing your emotions, but understanding and managing them in a healthy way. If you feel frustrated, instead of blaming someone else, ask yourself, what thought or belief is generating this emotion? This self-awareness exercise allows you to identify and challenge the narratives that are affecting you. When you take responsibility for your feelings, you become the author of your own emotional story. No matter what happens around you, you always have the power to choose how to respond. This daily practice not only brings you inner peace, but also helps you build healthier and more meaningful relationships. Remember, your emotional well-being is in your hands. Strategy 6. The art of non-reaction. Not everything in life deserves an immediate response. In a world where we are expected to act or respond quickly, true power lies in knowing when to stop. Practicing the pause, that brief but powerful instant before acting or speaking, is an invaluable tool that allows you to regain control of your emotions and actions. When something provokes you, whether it's criticism, a disagreement, or a challenging situation, your first reaction is usually influenced by impulses. Responding from impulse can lead to misunderstandings, regrets, or even escalate the conflict. On the contrary, by pausing, you give yourself the opportunity to analyze the situation with clarity, deactivate your emotions, and choose a wiser response. The art of non-reaction is not about ignoring or suppressing your emotions, but about giving them space to be understood and processed. This practice fosters patience, self-control, and wisdom. It allows your words and actions to become constructive tools instead of weapons that hurt or destroy. The pause also sends a powerful message to those around you. It demonstrates that you are not easily manipulated, and that you have the ability to maintain your center even in tense situations. It is a sign of emotional maturity and inner strength. Remember that it is not always necessary to defend yourself, justify yourself, or react. Sometimes, silence is the most eloquent and effective response. Learning to choose your battles and your words with intention can transform your relationships and your perspective on life. Cultivate the art of non-react. In the pause, you will find the clarity to act from your best self, and in that clarity resides true power. Strategy 7. Cultivate daily gratitude. Gratitude has the power to profoundly transform your life. In a world that often pushes you to focus on what you lack, cultivating daily gratitude allows you to recognize what you already have and radically change your perspective. The key is to make gratitude a constant habit, not an occasional thought. Each day, dedicate a few minutes to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. These can be great achievements or simple everyday moments, like a friend's smile or the sun shining after the rain. The idea is to focus on the positive, on what nourishes you and gives you peace, instead of getting stuck in negativity. This simple act of gratitude allows you to see the world with different eyes, recognizing the abundance that is already present in your life. Gratitude not only helps you find inner peace, but also improves your relationships because it allows you to appreciate the people and situations you might otherwise take for granted. Furthermore, by practicing it daily, you create a mindset of abundance instead of one of scarcity. The more you are grateful, the more you find reasons to be grateful, generating a positive cycle that expands. Gratitude has a direct impact on your emotional well-being. It reduces stress, anxiety, and frustration, and connects you with a deeper sense of purpose and satisfaction. It's not about ignoring life's challenges, but about finding the light even in the midst of darkness. Make gratitude a daily practice. It's a simple habit but of enormous power. By focusing on what you have, you transform your way of living, creating a fuller and more conscious life. Strategy 8. Focus on what you can control. Life is full of uncertainties and factors beyond your reach. You cannot change the weather, control others' opinions, or modify the past. However, there is something that is always under your control: your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. By focusing on what you can control, you free yourself from the frustration that comes from trying to manipulate the uncontrollable. The first step is to recognize that anxiety and stress often arise when you cling to what you cannot change. Worrying about the future, about what others think of you, or about what happened years ago, takes you away from what really matters: your ability to respond wisely to the present moment. Instead of focusing on what is beyond your reach, redirect your energy towards what you can influence. You have power over your decisions, over how you respond to situations, and over how you face challenges. You can choose how to react to challenges, how to learn from your mistakes, and how to grow through adversities. Focusing on the controllable allows you to take the reins of your life. You become the source of your own peace and well-being without depending on external factors to feel balanced. This approach allows you to be more resilient, as instead of resisting the inevitable, you learn to adapt and act within what is within your reach. Remember, your energy is limited. Instead of wasting it on what you cannot change, invest it in what depends on you. This way you will live more consciously, focused, and Strategy 9. Practice empathy. Is one of the most powerful skills for building strong relationships and resolving conflicts effectively. We all face our own struggles, often hidden behind the masks we show to the world. Before letting anger take over, take a moment to reflect on what the other person might be going through. Practicing empathy doesn't mean agreeing with the other person, but trying to understand their perspective, their emotions, and their circumstances. When you face a conflictive situation, instead of reacting impulsively, ask yourself, what might this person be feeling? What challenges or worries might be influencing their behavior? This exercise will help you see beyond the surface and approach the situation from a place of compassion instead of judgment. Empathy dissolves anger and frustration, as it allows you to connect with others on a deeper level. By understanding the context of others' emotions, you free yourself from the need to be right or to impose yourself, which strengthens your personal and professional relationships. This practice also promotes patience and tolerance. Recognizing that each individual has their own story, their own difficulties, allows you to react more calmly and constructively. Instead of feeding the conflict, you resolve it with greater understanding and mutual respect. Practicing empathy not only benefits you but also those around you. It makes you a more conscious, more connected, and, above all, more human person. By making empathy an essential part of your daily life, you will create a more harmonious and supportive environment. Strategy 10. Embrace the transience of everything. Nothing in this life is eternal. People, moments, and emotions are fleeting. Everything is in constant change. When you embrace the transience of life, you develop a deep appreciation for the present. Instead of clinging to what is past or fearing what will come, you learn to enjoy the here and now. The recognition of impermanence also has the power to free your mind and heart from unnecessary emotional burdens. Resentment, anger, and rage, although natural, intensify when you cling to past situations. By understanding that everything has an end, you can let go of those feelings more easily. You stop carrying the weight of what you can no longer change and free yourself to move forward more lightly. This understanding of the transient allows you to live with a more open and flexible mindset. Instead of clinging to rigid expectations or inflexible plans, you adapt better to changing circumstances. You recognize that pain is also fleeting, as are joys and challenges, which gives you greater peace of mind. By embracing transience, you learn to value what you have in the moment. You become more aware of the beauty in the everyday and the small moments that often go unnoticed. Instead of living waiting for the future or lamenting the past, you live fully in the present, accepting impermanence with serenity. Remember that everything you experience, whether good or bad, is just a chapter in a constantly evolving story. Accept this flow of life and allow it to lead you to new experiences, letting go of what no longer serves you. 11. Love and gratitude. Anger is a fire that consumes from within. But there are two infallible antidotes: love and gratitude. It's not about empty sentimentality, but a true philosophy of life. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." If you start each day from that perspective, anger loses its power over you. First, love. Not romantic love or dependent love, but deep love for humanity. The understanding that every person acts according to their understanding and circumstances. When someone offends you, instead of reacting with rage, ask yourself, does this person really know what they're doing? Most of the time the answer will be no. Don't take anything personally, because it rarely is. Then, gratitude. It's not possible to be grateful and angry at the same time. If you practice gratitude consciously, your mind will stop looking for grievances. Did someone cut you off in traffic? Instead of cursing, be grateful that you have a vehicle and the opportunity to move. Did someone speak ill of you? Be grateful that you have the opportunity to show with actions who you really are. The key is to choose how you interpret each situation. You cannot control the outside world, but you can decide what meaning you give to it. Gratitude turns problems into lessons, and love transforms frustration into patience. If you adopt this mindset, anger will have no place in your life. 12. The fallacy of good and bad. We live in a world where we are taught to divide everything into two camps, good and bad. We believe there are just and unjust people, noble and vile, right and wrong. But this way of seeing reality is childish and condemns you to live in a state of constant frustration. The Stoics understood a fundamental truth. No one is entirely good or entirely bad. Each person acts according to their perception, their history, their wounds, and their limitations. When someone betrays you, lies, or treats you badly, they do so because in their mind, they are justifying their action. Perhaps they are driven by fear, ignorance, or their own internal struggles. But labeling them as bad only generates resentment in you and solves nothing. Epictetus said it clearly. If someone harms you, it is not the person who harms you, but the judgment you have about their action. You don't get angry about what happens, but about the story you tell yourself about it. Imagine someone insults you on the street. If you think, this person is an idiot, they have disrespected me, you will be filled with anger. But if instead you say to yourself, perhaps they are having a bad day, perhaps they don't know what they're doing, you free yourself from the burden of anger. True power lies in accepting reality without dividing it into black and white. Don't expect the world to behave according to your expectations. People act according to their own reasons, not yours. When you understand this, you stop suffering from others' actions. You don't get angry because you understand that everyone, in some way, is doing the best they can with what they have. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You've not only learned how to free yourself from anger, but you've taken a step towards a more serene and powerful life. Now you know that the key is to change your perspective and not let external factors control your inner peace. Thank you for watching the video until the end. If it has served you, like it and share it with your friends and family, because everyone deserves to live with more calm. Subscribe for more content on stoicism and personal growth. Remember, take action immediately and write in the comment box. I will never ever get angry about anything or with anyone, as this simple but powerful act is the first step towards a true transformation, and is the moment you decide to commit to yourself. And now I invite you to watch the next video where you discover another Stoic teaching that can transform your life. See you there.